Welcome to Housewives of True Crime YouTube channel.
Oh, welcome.
I'm Tab, and that right there is Gretchy. We have a podcast called Housewives of True Crime. If you have not checked it out, please do. We dive into a crime every single week for about 45 minutes. But on YouTube, we cut it a little short to give you the good stuff. But if
Just
you
the tip.
it's just the tip. But if you want it all the way in, you got to go to our podcast.
That's right.
So before I get into what today's case is about, please like and subscribe to our channel right now. There's a button somewhere around your computer screen. You will get more crimes every single week, and tell your friends about us also, because you know they like true crime too. Now let's get into today's case. We are talking murder so close to home that it makes you question your parenting skills. Are we doing it right, Gretch?
Listen, from what I've learned about Brian Koberger, I'd be making sure my kids have enough protein.
Yeah, we just
need a well-balanced diet. Okay, all the food groups all of them.
I think all the food groups is good for your children, right? You don't want to create a serial killer by depriving them of any nutrient.
Also, kids need structure and consequences. And we give those to our children occasionally.
I don't know if I'm very good at it, but we try.
Get good. Get good. Okay. Get good.
Got it.
You don't want to end up dead.
Very true. By my own child. Okay, so let's go to 1994. You know what you were doing in 94? You were kissing a lot of boys in high school, because that's also what I was doing. But this man, Kevin Boyd, he wasn't in high school anymore. He was actually the same age as I am now, 42.
Just a baby.
Just a baby. He had such life ahead of him.
That doesn't get carded anymore.
I don't get carded. Some wrinkles. Anyways, Kevin Boyd was living in Lake Orion, Michigan. He was working hard for the money, and he was working hard for his son, who was just 16 years old and on the struggle bus. His son was also named Kevin Jr. He had just moved in with his dad not too long before, because his mom thought it was best that he be packing and going to his dad's house, because he had just dropped out of school after trying 10 different ones, and he just couldn't get it together. So maybe Kevin Sr. could, straighten his ass up. Kevin Jr. started dabbling.
Who needs to straighten up just because you can't go to 10 schools? Give him an iPad and some Cheetos.
It works for my kids.
Right?
At 10. I don't know what they're going to be doing at 18, but what works now. Okay, so Kevin Jr., he didn't have an iPad because it was only 1994, and,
That's right.
You remember the dial-up sound?
Oh, that's why they sent him off, because you had to actually pair it.
Right.
Back then.
Right.
Now
you don't have to. Okay. So he dabbled in some alcohol. He dabbled in some drugs, stuff that he was interested in. Kevin Sr. and his ex-wife, Lynn Boyd, both wanted the best for their son. And after they divorced in 1988, they pretty much had an amicable relationship. Lynn left Kevin for a lady, and Kevin moved on to another lady as well. On August 6, 1994, this dreadful day, Kevin Jr. came home from his girlfriend's house and found his dad dead, lying on the living room floor, covered in blood, dead with a pillow over his face. He ran outside just in tears when he ran into a maintenance worker who found him sobbing. This guy went into the house to see what was going on and found the devastation of Kevin Sr. dead on the floor in front of his lazy boy. Looks like he had just had a beer and was watching some TV. So he called 911. It looked as if Kevin was hit over the head with a bat and stabbed to death well over 21 times. Over the next couple months, police would try to figure out what the heck happened, who did this awful crime. Kevin Jr. and his girlfriend were together the whole night before. Kevin Sr.'s girlfriend was not with him either that night. She was ruled out as a suspect as she was on her way to Canada, and his ex-wife, Lynn, was at home with her girlfriend all night watching the movies. So who could it be? Who could it be now? Although the house was ransacked, so it looked like it was a robbery, but nothing more than a gun and Kevin's wallet was missing. I don't know if this guy had a bunch of other stuff, but maybe that's all they wanted. Who knows? Hours later, the wallet would be found in a guy that was playing some music at a bar in the back of his truck with the money still in the wallet. So 2 months went by with no arrests. And then, bam, guess what happened? Julie, the girlfriend of Lynn, had some deep, feelings in her conscience that she needed to tell the police something that she knew.
She thought you guys effed up by not getting rid of that wallet. Just putting it in some dude's car. She didn't want to get dragged down with the rest of them. That's what she thought.
That's probably what she thought. So she said, I wasn't watching movies all night with Lynn.
Nobody believed that, Julie. We all know women don't stay up that late to watch movies.
That's right.
Not more than one.
Multiple? I could barely get through one.
No way.
No way. Not happening. So Lynn actually left the house around 11 that night and then came clean to her and said she had something to do with the murder. She said, I'll do a lie detector test to prove it. And she did. Passed with flying colors. Well, Lynn then also had a bad conscience and called the police up just weeks after Julie did and said, okay, I have remorse in my soul and I did it, but I didn't do it alone. My girlfriend Julie was my co-conspirator and the one who actually stabbed Kevin to death. The police, however, were like, I don't think so. Julie already took a lie detector test. So we think that you're liar, liar, pants on fire. You're trying to throw Julie under the bus, but in actuality, you're trying to cover up for your son, who is really the killer. So it kind of looked that way because this mother and son duo were already trying to take over the business and collect on the life insurance policies. So police go and arrest Kevin Jr. right away, and they eventually get a confession out of him. At first he says, no, I wasn't the killer. It was my mom and Julie, and I just helped them by giving them the keys to my dad's apartment and letting them know when he would probably fall asleep on his lazy boy because he probably does that every single night. Then the police eventually got the guy to say, or Kevin Jr., the son, to say that he was actually the one to kill his father. This happened after 6 hours of interrogation and them trying to get a confession. So I'll leave you with a kind of a thought in your head of maybe he wasn't the one there, but he definitely was a conspirator to gain access to his dad's business and money. The two, Kevin Jr. and Lynn Boyd, were both sentenced to life in prison. However, there is a twist. In 2012, Michigan changed the law so that minors, because mind you, he was 16 when this crime happened, could no longer receive life sentences, and Kevin was released in 2020. The maximum sentence that he could have had was 25 years, and so they resentenced him to 25 years and let him out of prison just 3 years ago. He has since turned his life around, which is amazing. He got his degree, his high school diploma in prison. He got some vocational degrees, and he says he is no one near the person that he was when he went into prison.
Does he talk to his mama?
You know what? I bet you he doesn't, because his mom tried to throw him under the bus in court and try to blame it all on him. So I think if I was him, I wouldn't talk to my mom. She got him in this mess.
He surely shouldn't be talking to her. In addition, she should have got him an attorney and told him to shut up.
This is true because she retained an attorney early on in the case, but she did not retain an attorney for her son. So this mother is, I hope,
her pants are on fire.
Her pants are on fire. And she's in prison for the rest of her life. She is not getting out. There are no appeals for this woman. As she did try to appeal the case, I read this and they were like, lady, you are the one that called us to confess. Like, what do you mean you're not getting out? Like, you can't appeal the fact that you dialed up the phone and said, I want to come into the office and give my confession for a crime I committed. There is also another little twist to Julie's fate, but you will have to go to our podcast to find out what happened after 1994 with Julie. Go to Housewives of True Crime podcast to find out all of this and more, and even more cases. We have a whole backlog, and I think you guys will like it. Thanks for watching. Clink, clink.
Clink, clink.